In case you missed to say that prayer this morning, that was Modeh or Modah Ani. So thank you, God, for returning my soul to me. It's the first prayer that we're supposed to say when we wake up in the morning. But in case you missed it this morning, there it was. I feel like I'm like, Dr. Tom, my mic sounds like it's cracking. Can you do something about that before we start? You know, you can tell it's Kol Nidre. Can you tell it's Kol Nidre in the air? I mean, I can tell it's Kol Nidre because, like, there's this tension in the air. Which we're, like, you know, if we connect with the divine, we don't have the tension. At least that's my theory. I think on 28. Please greet your neighbor with a good Yom Tov. So we're going to start our Kol Nidre service with number 1 on your High Holiday song sheets. Rochamono. Oh we actually almost have a prize for the person who traveled the farthest to come to Temple Beth for David from Venezuela. Bakasha.
May our prayers be pleasing to you, because they are spoken with sincerity and with truth. May our prayers be pleasing to you, because they are uttered in humility, as we acknowledge our frailty and our need for your sustaining strength. May our prayers be pleasing to you, because they are offered in gratitude for your manifold blessings, too numerous to be counted, too constant to be deserved. May our prayers be pleasing to you, because we firmly resolve to take these noble words with us and to permit them to guide our actions in the year ahead. May our prayers be pleasing to you, because the lips which speak them also speak words of hope to the discouraged, cheer to the distressed, solace to the bereaved, and kindness to all. May our prayers be pleasing to you, because they reflect not only our own needs, but also the needs of others and the needs of our people. May our prayers be pleasing to you, because they remind us of what you expect of us, and because they challenge us to become all that we are capable of being.
There is a custom to wear a talit at night on Erev Yom Kippur, which is tonight. So if anyone would like, there are a few extras in the back, and you're welcome to use them. In Psalms 104, it says, God wraps God's self in light as a garment. The Midrash says that this is actually the talits, and this is how God created light. God put on a white talit, and the world shone from God's light. Our service begins on page 91. And I would ask Rivka to please come light our bells and ribbons. Rivka and Mariah. Those are the ladies that are helping with our bread fast, so very much appreciate their work. I would ask our Beth to please come forward. Lori up front. Please rise. We're on page 92. By the authority of the heavenly court and by the authority of the earthly court, with the knowledge of the ever-present God and with the knowledge of this congregation, we welcome all to pray with this community and declare it proper to pray with others who have wronged either God or human beings. Let's read together the first paragraph on page 92. Kol Nidre, chant of ages,
Chant of Israel, chant of sorrow, measuring off the rotting heartbeats of a people now in anguish, crushed by tyrants, mortally broken, wandering among the homeless weary, generations set in routine, of trials, hopes, and yearnings, added each its variations to the redeemed decades, diverse lands and diverse periods, pour their soul into music. With the wisdom of our hearts tuned, we can see revealed before us heroes, martyrs, saints, and stars, loyal, steadfast sons and daughters of Israel, sanctifying life supreme for their souls.
you may be seated.
Holy praise, that's already, the huddle day, the huddle day, the thing we hate, we keep the same, who's true,
And this time, you are all welcome to please come along with us.
Holy Three, the
We're on page 95 together. Forgive the wrongdoings of this people and all who dwell in their midst, according to the greatness of your covenantal love. For in all of us there is unwitting transgressions. As the source of compassion has said, I have forgiven as you have asked.
No
on page 95. And Shahakayanu. We sing this prayer whenever things are new, a new season, a new time. And here we sing and Yoma, which is the Talmud, tells us that Yom Kippur is a day of actually celebration. This day of celebration because we know that at the end of the day, God will forgive us. You may be seated. Please look on your sheets, your high holiday sheets, for number 4, Shir Hadash.
Sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shiru Adonai, Dores. Shiru Sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Sing unto God a new song.
And speaking of songs, I have to say that I'm very blessed that we have our guitar players, Barbara, Kent, and Barbara, and our cantorial soloist, Alan Cass, who we've worked hard to put together music that is suitable for the holidays. And it's a work of joy, a work of love. And if you appreciate these folks, please tell them Yasha Kawah, which means Yahoo and Yelp, well done, at the end of the night. So I very much appreciate that work. So, let's see. Number 3 on your song sheets. It's good to give thanks to the Lord and to sing praises to your name. Tov Lahodot. Number 3 on your song sheets.
Tov Adonai, Tov Adonai, Tov Elohim Kadavyon. Tov Adonai, Tov Adonai, Tov Elohim Kadavyon. Lahakit boker, boker chasercha, nafar nafar meino. Lahakit boker, boker chasercha, nafar nafar meino. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la.
holidays, there's a special Nusach that's a little different than the other times of the year. And I would also say that pray in the language that connects you to the divine. The divine can be thought of from our tradition in many ways, an entity, a process, or a verb. God is so much, and it's hard for us to sort of quantify that. In Hebrew, they say there's so many names. Please, John, please, Bakasha, up front, center. This is what happens when I know your name. Watch out. And that's why everybody has like name tags, right? But truly, the one who knows all of our names is present tonight. The one who is an experience is present tonight. And our job is to connect. If English is your language, then great. If Hebrew is your language, great. If Yailali's work, please join us in whatever form or capacity works for you. The goal is to connect. And as I said, so many names for God, they say. Rock. You may love him. Most especially with God. So that name is almost like is, was, and will be. Shekinah. It's a feminine name, meaning divine presence. So whatever name calls to your soul, that's the perspective, the aspect of God. God is one, the unique oneness. But our job is to connect and tap into that oneness. We're on page 4. My holiday Nusach goes like this. Please rise. Please join me in English on page 4. Blessed is the ineffable, majesty of the universe, bringing on the evenings with wisdom, opening the gates of the heavens, with insight changing time and varying the seasons, with will setting the stars and watches in the saints, creating day and night, rolling light away from before darkness, stardust from before light, causing the day to pass, bringing night and separating day and night. The cosmos is revealed, the living and enduring God, forever reigns. Amen. With eternal love, the people of Israel have been loved. Stories and teachings, codes, laws, and judgments have taught us. When we lie down and when we arise, we are called upon to discuss these codes, to rejoice in life's teachings, and to do right actions always. Together, for these lessons are the light and length of our days, and we all reflect on them day and night. May the love of life and learning never be removed from us. Blessed is the ancient teacher, loving people of Israel. Amen. At this time of the year, we are in awe of the holy. And at the same time, Rabbi Nachman tells us that nothing is as liberating as joy. Rabbi Nachman used to go out in the fields and sing. He would connect by being in the forest. He would connect by maybe a single word in his prayer, taking it to his heart. We're on page 6. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai
soul, lay your love forever.
Please be seated. We join in Mikamocha, at the bottom of page 7. Page 8. Your children saw the power of freedom when the unknown sea parted before Moshe. This is my God, they answered and said, together,
The enduring one will rule forever. And it is said, for the eternal has set Yaakov free and liberated us from our oppression. Blessed are you who redeemed Israel.
Let's read together. May our lives, our goings, and our comings be
Guarded
guarded
for life and for peace, for now and forever. May the shelter of peace be spread over us. For Rugatah, the Holy One of Being, spreads forth the shelter of peace over us, over all the people of Israel, and over Jerusalem.
It is written, blow the shofar at the time of the new moon, at the appointed time for our festive day, which will be tomorrow. It is a statute for Israel set forth by the God of Jacob. In the English,
On this day, atonement shall be rendered unto you as your father receives, that then you become pure before the great.
Yitgadol, Yitgadash, In the Purim box, where it says, the Mishnah in Yoma, the tractate dedicated to Yom Kippur, tells us, in effect, that Rabbi Akiva could see the new possibility of atonement even in the absence, at that time, of the high priest in the temple. God himself would purify the people without the need for an intermediary. Even ordinary Jews could come face to face with the Shekinah, the divine presence. They needed no one else to apologize for them. The trauma that once took place in the temple could now take place in the human heart. Yom Kippur was saved. It's not too much to say at that point, even the Jewish faith was saved. Every synagogue at that point became a fragment of the temple. Every prayer became a sacrifice. Every Jew became a kind of priest, offering God not an animal, but instead the gathered shards of a broken heart. For if God was the God of everywhere, God could be encountered anywhere. And if there were places from which God seemed distant, then time could substitute for place. Yom Kippur became the Jerusalem of time, the holy city of the Jewish soul. Please rise for page 10 of the night. On page 12, our liturgy for the high holidays has these particularly 3 paragraphs added. Let's read line by line responsibly, and so be instilled in all living things. All creation ought to be in awe, and may all of creation form a single bond. For we know that you govern alone, and your awesome spirit being. And so, praise to those who are in awe of you, and voice sincere yearnings for you, and joyfulness for the inhabitants of your city in our lifetime. Those who struggle for justice will be the first, and the faithful supporters will sing with joy. All evil vanishing like smoke. You alone, the sacred oneness, with Mount Zion as your honored dwelling place, the city of Shalom, Jerusalem, the life source, the ancient of ancients. Let's read together. Hallelujah. It once happened that Rabban Gabriel said, "Send me up 7 scholars early in the morning to the upper chamber to calculate the month." When he came in the morning and found 8 instead of 7, he said, "Who has come up without permission? Let him go down." Thereupon Samuel arose and said, "It is I who came without permission. My object was not to join in this holy work, but I just felt the necessity of learning the practical application of the law." Rabbi Gabriel knew that it wasn't him that had come up without being called. He said, "Sit down, my son. You're worthy of interpolating all the years." But in reality, it just wasn't Samuel. It was another. He only wished to save the intruder from humiliation. Can we be like that with our friends, with those that we love? Can we cover their misdeeds, their wrongdoings? Maybe so. This is a story from Sanhedrin. We're on page 100. And also, if you would like to turn to number 14 on your high holiday sheets, this next piece comes from a practice that some people do, getting up at midnight. Right?
No often they are sure. She the morning sleepers. No often they are sure. She the morning sleepers. No often they are sure. She the morning sleepers. No often they are sure. She the morning sleepers. No often they are sure. She the morning sleepers. No often they are sure. She the morning sleepers. No often they are sure. She the morning sleepers. No often they are sure.
So the central piece of Yom Kippur is when we think about the wrongs that we have done, the things that we've done and the things that we've failed to do. Few things touch our soul these days. Somehow we can sort of float throughout our day and somehow, sometimes, not be conscious, not tuned in to the Holy One. Tonight we have Shavu, where we communally talk about those things that we have done wrong. And when we think about it, we think, I really didn't, whatever it was, right? Oh, I really didn't steal. I wasn't a thief. Well, wait a second. When we think about the ethical teachings of our sages over the past couple millennia, stealing something as invaluable as a pen, or perhaps as valuable as someone's time, all of those are things that our sages talk about. So when we communally say that we've committed these together, we ask God to forgive us. If we've done something where we have committed a wrong against another human being, if we've been unkind, if we've been cruel, if we've simply just perhaps not even paid attention to them as much as we should, for these things also we need to communicate with that other person. God forgives us, yes, but we need to speak to that other person. Maybe they're here. Maybe they're a phone call away. Or maybe they're no longer living. We need to make it right with whoever those people are between us and that individual soul. And then God does what God does best, which is forgive us. Let's read together at the top of page 100. May our prayers be worthy of ancestors' faith.
Let our prayers enter the presence of the sacred and obvious Lord. We are not so obstinate and stubborn as to say, we are righteous, we have done no wrong. Indeed, we have done wrong. We have sinned, we have missed the mark.
Please rise. Tradition has it that we kind of like take our right fist and put it over our heart as we say each of these words. Yeah, la, 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 la. Let's read the English responsibly. I'll read the beginning and you read the second section, the second part. We have blamed, we have deceived. We have spoiled, we have been hypocritical. We have offended, we have been wicked. We have been presumptuous. We have done violence. We have deceived, we have ill advised. We have lied, we have mocked. Let's read together the bottom of page 100. You know the mysteries of the universe, and the best kept secrets of every living thing. You search out the innermost truths of our life. With care you examine all our feelings, all our thoughts. Not one thing is hidden from you. Nothing escapes your gaze. May it be your will to forgive us our sins, to pardon all our iniquities, to grant us atonement for all our transgressions. Let's read responsibly. The sin which we have sinned against you under coercion or of our own free will, and for the wrong we did by hardening our hearts. For the wrong we did before you unintentionally, and for the wrong we did through decision of our words. For the wrong we did before you by using sex immorally, and for the wrong we did openly and in private. For the wrong we did before you openly and deceptively, and for the wrong we did by offensive language. For the wrong we did before you by deceiving another person, and for the wrong we did by malicious thoughts. For the wrong we did before you by unhonesty, and for the wrong we did with censors and apologies. For the wrong we did before you by disgracing parents and teachers, and for the wrong we did intentionally or by mistake. For the wrong we did before you by accusation, and for the wrong we did by frustration. For the wrong we did before you by foolish talk, and for the wrong we did by inappropriate language. For the wrong we did before you impulsively bad, and for the wrong we did consciously and unknowingly. For those of you who have difficulty standing for any length of time, you're welcome to be seated. Otherwise, we'll continue responsibly. For the sin we committed before you by denial and promises, and for the wrong we did by accepting bribes. For the wrong we did before you by honoring others, and for the wrong we did by speaking ill of other people. For the wrong we did before you in our business dealings, and for the wrong we did when eating and drinking. For the wrong we did before you by lack of generosity, and for the wrong we did by arrogant pride. For the wrong we did before you by idle conversation, and for the wrong we did by immense glances. For the wrong we did before you by discernible lies, and for the wrong we did by defiance. We did before you, dismissing responsibility. For the wrong we did, passing harsh judgments on others. For the wrong we did before you by entrapping others, and for the wrong we did by tormenting others. For the wrong we did before you by frivolity, and for the wrong we did by being stubborn. For the wrong we did before you by running to evil, and for the wrong we did by failure. For the wrong we did before you by swearing falsely, and for the wrong we did by causeless hatred. For the wrong we did before you by betraying trust, and for the wrong we did by a confused heart. Let's read in the English. May we be remembered and inscribed in the book of life of
blessings of peace and sustenance. May there be good life and harmony for all the house of Israel.
Shalom, Divrama. Uya say shalom aleinu. Le'yakol Yisrael. Bibru, amen. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu. Le'yakol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu le'yakol Yisrael. Moshe shalom divrama, Yaseh shalom aleinu le'yakol Yisrael. Divrei amen. Moshe shalom divrama, Yaseh shalom aleinu. Le'yakol Yisrael, Divrei amen.
So, and now time for the Drash. As many of you know, the theme of the High Holidays sermons has been nobody else, oh come on. Happiness, that's right, happiness, exactly that. So on Erev Rosh Hashanah, Elliot gave a Drash on serving God with joy. And then on Rosh Hashanah, my daytime Shacharit sermon was on resilience, which was blessing God for the good as well as for the bad and the difficult times. So tonight, I thought that I would like to talk about happiness and spiritual progress. So, as some of you may know, the books, and I often, when I'm doing a High Holiday series, I kind of like to find some books that are pertinent, and perhaps the most pertinent is Happiness in the Human Spirit, written by Rabbi Abraham Twersky, who's also an MD. Happiness in the Human Spirit, the spirituality of becoming the best you can be. And then, of course, since, I don't know, I've been like, reading scientific interesting things. Social intelligence was one of the other ones. And then Life is Short, Wear Your Party Pants. So, yes, all of those have been important additions. So as you might guess, Rabbi Dr. Twersky, he tells us that the secret to human happiness is related to moving forward on our spiritual journey. So how can we do that? How can we make spiritual progress? Arguably, that seems to be our quest here, right? Yom Kippur, realign, return, connect with God. It's not just doing what we feel like when we feel like it. That's not happiness, that just is a lack of focus and direction. So, in one area, Judaism and neuroscience both agree. Happiness is intertwined with learning and community. Neuroscience agrees with what our sages have said for millennia. It's learning that we relish as human beings, no matter what our age. We and our brains are happy in a positive learning environment. And we also need community, no matter who we are. You've heard the phrase, no man is an island. Well, studies prove that the healthiest of us are healthy in part due to community. Goldman writes, vitality arises from sheer human contact. People we care about are an elixir, an ever-renewing source of energy. On the other hand, toxic emotional encounters, we're regularly dealing with negative emotions, having those like disgust, contempt, explosive anger. Those are the emotional equivalents of secondhand smoke, and it damages each of us. It's also true when we experience rejection. Neuroscience say that our brain registers social rejections in the same area that activates when we are physically injured. Things like broken heart and hurt feelings actually make sense. And as humans, we attune to one another, and it works both ways, for the positive as well as the negative. These patterns of attunement, though, as a whole, as a group, are healthy and helpful. Patients who are diagnosed with cancer fare better if they have community. Those that are married, have close family and friends, participate in religious groups, recover more quickly from their disease, and live longer. Many studies prove a strong connection between maintaining community and lowering mortality. Daniel Goleman in The Social Intelligence says, when we devote more time and energy to being with people that we find nourishing, it has healthful benefits. So nourish your social connections, because community sustains us emotionally as well as physically. Judaism echoes this with a comment from the Talmud, which says, don't separate yourself from the community. Being part of our Jewish community is good for you, for your brain, and also because we love to study. And it's good for your physical health. So I'd like to combine those two concepts, the learning and the community, and talk about someone that maybe many of you know. I think about George Small, father of Gail Farrell. Some of you knew him. When he was 99, he kept up on the internet, he read news stories, and he loved to read about whatever was happening, and the latest recommendations on health and what vitamins he should take, and he regularly participated in synagogue. I remember giving him a magazine for his 99th birthday. It was an exercise fitness magazine. It featured on the cover rock-hard abs, a young man sporting those great abdominal muscles, the proverbial six-pack. George's first question was, what are rock-hard abs? Now, George had a beautiful sense of humor, and after we told him, he pulled up his shirt and he said, hey, Rabbi, do you think I have rock-hard abs? His daughter later told me that after that magazine, she saw him when he was out sitting in the yard. Every once in a while, he'd pull up his shirt and he would check. Yes, at 99, he was an inspiration to all who knew him. He was willing to ask the question and willing to follow through on the notion. It's not enough to hope that we will grow. Like George, we need to take positive steps little by little. We read, we study, we have friends, we take a yardstick, get to measure ourselves. And if we don't ever measure ourselves, we'll never know. Looking at our strengths and weaknesses, that's part of what this 25-hour period is all about. Spiritual growth, there's so much to it. It would not be unusual to look at religious language and stumble upon a whole new concept, perhaps, one we never knew about before. In Judaism, we have a rich tradition that spans millennia. We've been writing about how to meet God and what those experiences were like for thousands of years. Is experiencing God in your life what interests you, or have you given up? If you want to figure out your mission in this lifetime, are you working on it? Are you interested in making a commitment this year to seeing what you may have been missing? Are you willing to find out about what steps to take spiritually to meet your goal? Would you ask a friend if you are meeting that goal to help you acknowledge your strengths and weaknesses? Take some steps to become more self-aware. Tonight is Erev Yom Kippur. Our job is to realign with God, to do teshuvah and to turn back to our true self. It's fine to say, sure, I'd like to learn and grow, but think about that seriously. Are you serious? Are you really interested? In order to do it, you have to uncover who you are today and how you are currently moving through the world right this minute. Are you willing to do it, even if it's painful, even if it might put a ding in your self-esteem? Who are you? If you do not have your job, your money, your house, your car, your looks, your status, your power, who would you really be? Do you have the humility to say, wow, maybe I do have some work to do. I guess I'm not ready for Olam Haba, or the world to come, or the next world yet. I'm not ready to go yet. Last week I spoke to Steve Matlis, who runs the Hebrew Cemetery. He's the guy that makes decisions along with the funeral board about who goes in which plot. I was asking him about funeral arrangements for someone, and then we started on various topics because we just happened to be on the phone. We were talking about green funerals, which use a wicker basket instead of a wooden casket. A wicker basket, like Moses in the Nile. There's some precedence in our tradition for that. I told him, I said, wow, Steve, you know, I'd be up for that. He said, oh, yes, Rabbi, I already have your parking place. Later I thought, no, he does have my parking place. He and I both know exactly which little piece of earth will hold my body until it dissipates into the ground. Those are the hard, cold facts. On Yom Kippur and on the high holidays, I wear a kittel, this robe, which is worn by many people in various congregations throughout the world. This kittel is the one that will accompany me when I die. It will be part of my burial shrouds. I'm here, and I'm wearing it. It has no pockets. Why? Because then I will leave no pockets. According to our tradition, the only thing that we get to take with us are good deeds. The charity I've given, the lives I've touched. I don't get to take my job, my house, my money, status, power. Those things don't go with us. Rabbi Jonathan Oberman in the Meditation Center in LA puts it this way: in each incarnation, we weave or unravel a few more stitches in the garment of light. At a certain point, one has finished, and one can go home. The High Holiday Liturgy says that God is deciding on Rosh Hashanah, and then our fate is sealed on Yom Kippur. Who will live, who will die, who will gain fame and fortune, who will be poor and penniless. Here's the poem by William Connor. And who by fire, who by water, who in the sunshine, who in the nighttime, who by high ordeal, who by common trial, who in the month of May, who by very slow decay, and who shall I say is calling? Who in her lonely slip, who by barbiturate, who in these realms of love, who by sunken float, who by avalanche, who by power, who for his greed, who for his hunger, and who shall I say is coming? Who by brave ascent, who by accident, who in solitude, who in this mirror, who by his lady's command, who by his lady hand, who in mortal chains, who in power, and who shall I say is coming? Another poem from our Boxer, each of us originates from dust, and dust is our end. Each of us is as a shattered urn, rafts that must wither, a flower that will fade, a shadow moving on, a cloud passing by, a particle of dust floating in the wind, which will be soon forgotten. Only the eternal is everlasting. None of us know the day we will be called to our parking place. Before your time is up, Is there anything you want to accomplish for the good in this Hebrew calendar year of 5773? Something that will realign you with your true self and with God. Are you willing to metaphorically pull up your shirt for someone else to take a look? Are you willing to admit that you don't necessarily even know the next step and that it takes true humility, which is why we think about our humblest teachers, Moses. That's why he got to meet God, because he was the most humble. Do you have a spiritual partner or a teacher? In Hebrew, we call it kavrutha. Do you have a study buddy, someone who works together with you, and are you willing to commit to hard spiritual growth? From a physical standpoint, they say we get to our peak in the first couple of decades of life, but from a spiritual standpoint, we keep on growing as long as we have brain power. Without self-awareness or some sort of mirror of how you're currently doing, you have no yardstick for measure of growth. The saying goes, he who is not satisfied with himself will continue to grow. Can you say right now that you're finished, you're cooked, you have no need to learn or to grow any more spiritually? Or is there something else you need to do? So let's do a quick exercise. If you'd be willing to be just a little more open emotionally this sacred day of the Jewish calendar, Yom Kippur. Think about where you are right now on your spiritual journey. You can close your eyes if you feel comfortable. This will only take a moment of self-reflection. Are you impatient? Are you a procrastinator? Are you stubborn? Too sensitive, easily offended? Do you have anger issues? Are you angry at your spouse for no good reason? Are you emotionally distant from your family? Have you hurt someone? Is there someone you refuse to forgive? Is that someone yourself? Do you have fear? Do you lack trust in people? Do you know God? Do you need a prayer life? Have you given tzedakah or charity? They say that giving charity saves from death. Are you interested in pursuing God, experiencing holy moments? What is that nagging issue that needs to get polished up for you this year? What should you work on if God gives you the time? Can you make a short promise to yourself and to God who listens to the prayers of your heart? That you will spend time on whatever issue comes up for you. If you can't figure out just one area of weakness, can you make a promise that you will thoughtfully consider it this week? No one rises above who he or she has been without first having fallen down. The best time, in fact the only time to make a real change in your life, is in the moment of seeing the need for it. The one who hesitates gets lost. And 100 reasons why tomorrow is a better way to get started, a better time to do it than today, says Beth. May God bless each of us for the ability to start today. Today to find that issue, that weakness, and polish it, to work on it all year long. It is possible to be truly happy. Serve God with simcha, with joy. Get moving on your spiritual journey. And in the words of Hillel, if not now, when? Gomar Hatima Tova, may we all be sealed in the book of life, a life of peace, health, contentment in this year of 5773. Let's call on Jim to please come over the yard. We're on page 21. Please rise.
The day to love your celebration.
Tomorrow we'll be doing this more and in our shopping and our morning service for all of those, remembering all of those who have passed. However, tonight we will say the Lord's Kaddish on page 22. Yitgadal, Yitgadal, Shirah, Ba'olam, Yirah, and Tzid, Ba'olam, Ba'ayom, Yudayom, Ba'ayet, Ba'ayet, Israel, Ba'olam, Islam, Ba'ayet, Yirah, Ba'ayet. Yishnei Rabba Barak 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 Yitbarak Yisharak Yitbarak Yitbarak Yitaseh Yitadar Yitolem Yitolal Shnei Kusha Riku Leilam Leilam Yikubir Bata Shirata Tushbata Meneflata Kamerla Allah Yikuru Amen Yesh Lama Rabba Yishmaya Davimelech Yakul Yisrael Yikuru Amen O say shalom to you from God. Hallelujah, say shalom. Hallelujah, the whole Israel. Hebrew, hallelujah. We're on page 23. Number 9. Thank you, Lord.
We blessed as we go on our way. May we be guided in peace. May we be blessed with health and joy. May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May we be sheltered by the wings of peace. May we be kept in safety and in love. May grace and compassion find a way to every soul. May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen.
So Mart hold.
Gemarto.
So may it be sealed for good. All right, so, and you know, don't you feel it? Like, right? Okay, so before services, there was kind of some tension, and now we feel like, oh my gosh, we're family. Okay, all right, maybe it's just So we have directions for Sukkot, which will be at the Reese Ranch. They're over there. If for any reason you missed getting one of your loved ones on the Yisro list, please find somebody, maybe Gwen, who's been doing our greeting tonight, to make sure that their name is on there. If it's not already, there's a type sheet that's already up there. So, thank you so much, and may 5773 be an awesome year for all of us.
See you tomorrow? Yeah. Not tomorrow. White tomorrow? You accepted it. I'll wear my other outfit. What I wear for Rosh Hashanah. Just, it's on ivory.
It's whatever you can do. You come, that's the most important thing. I'd like to come to your song service because I don't have to talk.
Oh, but that's okay. Yeah.
I think it's okay because I can.
Yeah, you're right.
I can just communicate through the music.
Yeah, it's okay.
That would be nice.
Okay.
That was a good sermon. Drash. It was good. No, I mean, it's right to the point. As a matter of fact, I might not go to class tonight. Well, I mean, I can't miss the information. I can does he love me? You know, my teacher doesn't love me, I guess. But...
Are you in the book?
Huh?
Are you in the book?
Let me write it down for you.
It's a 3-hour service.
I think my internship just might be good. Yeah.
I tell you what, I'll just email you.
I just try to find a piece of paper. You know, I know where it is. Keep calling.
Right now. Or you can just call it.
I know some. It's a receipt.
Oh, okay.
I'll write down. I'll tear it. You get half. I get part.
Hey,
Okay, that's mine.
yeah, that's right. Shut up.
How many years were you in Big Sisters?
You know, I'm still kind of connected.
Oh, how did you know that's
I do. That's really true. Talk down. Nice to see you again. The artist, I saw your medallion that you
Oh, I'm not wearing it tonight because I didn't do my earrings off. No leather, perching.
I like on the website.
What is?
Oh,
yeah. I made my money back. I saw it.
Yes. San Diego.
What do you want to customize? Well, I know a man that might be making them, but I haven't made one yet. I got a metal clay setup, a precious metal clay setup, so I got the kilns.
Should I make my own? I guess I can just get a piece of, but I can just get a piece of
You can do it by Now, my idea is I've got copper pipe at home that's real thin. It's about this big around.
Yeah.
So it's big and then actually do the silver or metal clay on top of it, because once the copper's formed, that's not a big deal. Copper's a big deal. That's a whole other ball of wax. And silver is like 10 minutes in the kiln, and it adheres to whatever surface you put it on. So I could add glass and different kinds of stuff.
I know the other thing you do is to like wrap it with it. Yeah. But it's supposed to be protected, isn't it? It's supposed to sand.
Well, the scroll is supposed to be protected, and you can see it. So if it's inside plastic, that's okay. Yeah.
So maybe if I give my husband that to you, maybe he'll be more sensitive to your needs. Yeah, maybe.
I know it's doing a job on it. He's in college. And you want to make sure that it matches something. So like I bought a bunch of books. I still sell books online. So I bought a lot of books. Hi, Judy.
I know! It's good to see you. Yeah. I love your hair. I gave up on things. It's so long since you were treating it. When it goes, it's just going to go. I want to keep it long. No, but it looks great. It looks good. You've been already in the diet so much, and then it grows up and